For more on the Combine, we welcome in Mike Morreale from NHL.com. He's on his way to Buffalo to cover it there at the brand new Harbor Center. Mike, your thoughts on this year's Combine and what's new this year? Because we've seen it before in Toronto, but what do they have new in Buffalo this year?
Hey, Steve, EJ. Yeah, I mean, this year, obviously, like usual, 120 players going, 99 North Americans, 21 international players. And this year, the fact that it's held at the Harbor Center, the fitness testing will be moved into an arena offering an increased viewing area, better sight lines, live result monitors, allowing for the testing to be captured on video. One thing that I really like, guys, that they're doing this year for the first time is they're holding the bike tests on 2 separate days. Now, these bike tests used to be held on the same day, the final day of testing on usually Saturday. The VO2 max, which measures a player's endurance, will take place on Friday this week. And then the Wingate test, which measures that explosiveness in a skater. Usually scouts and GMs like to see them take this bike test for that explosive shift, that they can go at it for 30, 40 seconds. That'll be held on Saturday. The NHL strength coaches said both those tests require the players to fatigue, meaning they need to push until they can't push any longer. So to have them do both those tests on back-to-back instances in the past wasn't really a valid indicator to where a player was at. And you know what, EJ, if I can just say right here, I agree with you in that, I think it's important for fans to remember that the Combine is not a competition. It's an assessment of these top 17 and 18-year-olds at this point in their development. And what the Combine does is it gives strength coaches, scouts, a basis as to where these players are currently in terms of their strength development and where they need to, where they need to go with that particular prospect to turn him into an NHL player.
Mike, what's it going to be like over the next several days for Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel, because we pretty much know where they're going come draft day?
Yeah, I mean, obviously both guys, you would expect 1-2, EJ. It's going to be interesting to see how they compete. I mean, obviously they've been out of action now for almost a month for each of them. I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to get back at it, to get the interviewing process going again. I'm pretty sure each player has 6 team interviews. Obviously, that'll take place over the course of the week leading up to the bike test on Friday. But obviously both players, I think, are ready to get at it. I've spoken to each of them, and they said that they're raring to go with this. They're looking forward to it. They have practiced the bike test, something they've done in the past, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue for either of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. There's going to be obviously a big media contingent here to see what McDavid and Eichel have to say, and obviously we'll be on hand to find out how everything goes with the testing for each of them.
Mike, aside from those 2 big names, who else are you watching out for this week?
Yeah, this week, Steve, in addition to the big names at forward, I like these defensemen. Ivan Provorov of the Brandon Wheat Kings and the Dub, and obviously Noah Hanifin of Boston College. Both guys entered this season with high marks. Obviously, Hanifin was a player that everyone was looking at as a strong defenseman, a guy that can lead a power play and the penalty kill. And I think with Provorov, you're looking at a guy that really came into his own. A Russian in the Dub. This was his first year playing for the Brandon Wheat Kings. He usually partnered with Ryan Pilon from the Brandon Wheat Kings, and he's a player that's exceptional. It was exceptional in his first season. I think both of these guys, it'll be interesting to see how they perform at these tests. Obviously, Hanifin, to me, is probably the more stronger of the two. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the pull-ups and the bench press, and how close each is in skating and durability. The bike test will have a big factor in that, in the pro agility test for Provorov and Hanifin. So it's going to be interesting to see how these defensemen, how they look at these tests and how they are with the interviews during the course of the week. So that's another thing I'm watching closely this week.
Mike, we're really looking forward to the coverage on NHL.com. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.